What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Victor Stolbach. I own a dental laboratory, Solutions Dental Lab, and we're in the dental industry.
What type of business do you operate?
We are a laboratory business. Essentially, if I put it in layman's term, you go to the dentist, you need something made. You know, we all think maybe the dentist makes it, but that's not the case. There's an industry that makes the product, and that's the dental laboratory, which that's what we do, is make the product for the dentist to provide to the patient.
What is your educational background?
Well, I finished high school, graduated from PC North, got good teaching in middle school at Westminster, which I credit a lot of way of thinking, which was my middle school. Went to PC North for high school, did maybe 2 years in college, so no certificate achievement in college, but attended some college. The main educational background is the hard knocks.
And what is your work background?
My work background, I'll say, when I first started working at my first job at Wendy's, my nickname was The Leaner, which means I didn't work hard at all. I had a few jobs, red carpet, slot skis, just little jobs that, you know, were not paying much, that you didn't take too serious, so I maybe didn't last longer than a month. But as far as the industry goes, I've been in the dental lab industry for 13 years, going on 14 years. So if I have to think about career-wise, I've been in that industry, the dental industry, for 14 years.
Who has helped you on your career path? Do you have any influences or mentors?
I guess the first influence that I would have to credit for help is not a person I know personally, but would be Eric Thomas. People know him as E.T., the hip hop preacher. You know, that he helped me a lot in life, just giving me perspective. Outside of that, I mean, my aunt referred me to the first company I worked for, which was my dentist. So I give her credit, you know, obviously for that reference and just exposing me to, like, hey, this is a good industry, you should come work here. There's a lot of people along the way. A gentleman named Casey Murchison, we shared an office. He's a guru in the industry and just really teaching me how to service the client. You know, and Dr. Pat Steffen, he owned my dentist. It was a chain of dental offices. I worked for his laboratory. He was a true businessman. So it's great for me to get the few times I got to talk to him and pick up jewels. So, you know, a lot of things have to go your way to become to certain levels of success, in my opinion. So true, there's people, and then there's some forms of luck. But I mean, there's a lot of people, but the main person I'm gonna give my credit to first is God, and then Eric Thomas, for sure.
Do you enjoy what you
do? That's a tough word. I don't know if I'm thankful for what I do. I'm thankful for the opportunity that I've been given, extremely thankful. As far as enjoy, it's a stressful job. It's a thankless job. I don't need a thank you, but it is a nonstop. It's not an 8 to 5. It's a 7 to 11, Monday through Monday. So there's no day off. There's no time off. It's work, work, work. So it's just a part of the grind. I'm not really looking for something to enjoy at this moment. I'm just looking for a way to get to the place where I can enjoy what I'm doing in life.
What is the best part about your job?
For me, the best part about the job is being able to employ staff and pay them in a manner that I don't think that they would be compensated working for other regular companies, and to give them bonuses and to know, like, you know, if you went and worked somewhere else, you would not, I don't think that you would be exposed to this level of pay. So for me to be able to impact my staff and pay them well is extreme enjoyment. The other thing I enjoy is being able to give back. I do scholarships each year. It's doubled in the amount that I'm able to give back every year. So the greatest joy for me is utilizing the vehicle to give back to others.
All right, so on the flip side of that then, what would you say is the worst part about your job?
Worst is probably a strong word. I would say What's the worst? I don't really perceive anything as a worst part of the job. I mean, the job's a job. The opportunity is great. So if the opportunity is great, the potential is outlandish. So there's no room for worse, in my opinion. If I had to credit something as a negative, then it would just be the constant work, family vacation, phone ring, dad stepped away for 30 minutes and missed whatever this thing was, or not being at home with my family. But as far as the job itself, I'm extremely thankful. There's no worse for it.
Would you recommend your industry to other people?
Selfishly, no, because then it could tear up the potential of clients I could get. But yes, I do think it's a hidden industry. So I got young people that work here for me, and I talk to them about, going out and starting their own laboratory, learning the things they can learn here and go start their own so that they can feel and experience higher levels of success as well. So I would recommend it, but don't come over here. It's enough of us already.
What is your biggest failure in your business or your career? And it could be not just here, it could be anywhere in your work history.
Biggest failure. I say, it's the biggest failure. Honestly, I haven't experienced failure. I started with nothing. I started in a small room that was smaller than a bedroom and have grown a pretty nice sized company. So I haven't experienced failure. I've experienced challenges, but I don't know. I can't say that I've experienced failure. Failure does not exist. We just have a challenge and we overcome it, or we work to overcome it.
And then what would you say is your greatest success in your business or career?
Again, for me personally, I'm able to take care of people in my family. A man that was the man that took care of the building where I first started. Like their guy that did the carpet and the ceiling tiles and all. He's an old man, he had a hard life. And now I'm able to give him money and have him work for me for 2 days a week and pay him like he's working for 14 days a week. For me, those type of things are the greatest achievements, is just being able to provide for others.
And any advice you would give to people following your path?
I think you got to be able to recognize when opportunity exists, and not having a lens of just going in, clocking out, and leaving. You can work for a company where that's the demand. You clock in, you clock out, leave. We can identify those companies, but there's also industries. And if I had the knowledge now that I have now, back then, to just see the opportunity 10 years ago, I would have been 10 times further ahead. The season wasn't right, it didn't happen that way. But if I had to recommend to one of these young people that work for me now, is to recognize you don't work at a job, you work in an opportunity. In an industry. And within an industry, opportunity exists. So look at it as if it's an industry and I can own this one day, and learn all aspects of the business and ask questions.
Where did you get your initial funding?
Well, I was part owner of a laboratory, and these guys, I walked in one day and they were like, I ran it up. We got up to $40,000 a month, and for whatever reason, scaling is challenging. Growing is challenging. You can grow too fast, the quality suffer. And that's what we ran into, and we start to lose it. They say, we don't want to do this anymore. And I had my hands in my pocket with nothing because I was part owner. They were brothers, so I was on the minority there. And so I took a buyout. I got $8,000 for that, which is fine. But where I got the initial start was my mother, who I'm eternally thankful for. I didn't have nothing, and I'm asking people, just give me enough money to pay the rent in this space for 1 year. If I can get the money to pay the rent for 1 year and just see what happens, and all I needed was $4,000. And a lot of people said no. And my mom, who's not rich by any means, went in her retirement fund and gave me the $4,000. I took $3,000. I paid the rent off in that suite for 1 year, and we didn't look back. So my initial $3,000 came from my mother. There's no other loans or nothing since then.
And how long until your business broke even?
Well, I'll say the first year, I think I did like $20,000, in 1 year gross. So we made more than the $3,000 I got, right? So we made money there, but it was not. I had a family with a wife and 2 kids, but after that, man, we've grown substantially since then.
So speaking of that, how long until you were making enough to live on and be comfortable?
I'll say, we lived on the 20,000. My wife just had to work. So, you just scale back. I don't know. I'm learning. I don't know if comfortable ever exists, because you start to take on more responsibility that you have to support and sustain, right? So, but if I had to say like how long until my wife could quit her job and stay at home, that was probably 2 years into the business.
How did you plan and prepare to start your own business?
I didn't plan at all. That's why I say a lot of things have to go your way, even things you perceive to be negative. You never know what's on the other side of the decision or a closed door. So for me, I just don't look at starting a business as a long list of things that I had to do before I started the business. Some people say, I got to go do this, I got to do this, I got to get the funding, I got to have this, I got to have this. I don't think that way. I think, okay, A cost me this much, I can get it, pay somebody this much to make it, and I can sell it for this much. And if I can do that 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, I can make this much money. It's a very simple way of looking at things. So there was no preparation. It was just like, okay, you're gonna charge me this much, I'm gonna charge you this much. We agree, great, and we start.
What would you say was your big break?
I got to give credit to another guy too. His name is Jeff Waits. He owns a dental lab called The Bite Shop. And when those guys told me they didn't want to be in business together anymore, I went to Jeff and I told him, hey man, will you do my relines and repairs for free, which is 2 things, and I'll go do sales. And all the clients that want everything else outside of reline and repairs, you can have all that. So it's like I'm giving you $10,000 a month for you to do $2,000 worth of work for me for free. And he agreed to that deal. And so without that, I wouldn't have had someone to offer to do the relines and repair where I could make money while I was trying to build up my deal. So that was a big break for me, for him agreeing to that. It was a big break for me to have those guys say they didn't want to do it anymore because it was a totally random day. Dr. Stephan passed away. The company sold to another company. Then they sold to another company. Something that opened my eyes when Stephan passed, they sold to Heartland. Heartland sold to DSG. When they sold to DSG, these guys looked at me and said, oh, there may be something in this kid. And they took me to Florida. When they took me to Florida to the big lab meeting, and they introduced me to all these lab owners who they bought the lab that these guys used to own. So it's like DSG bought my laboratory. And I met them, and I was like, dang, they not no different than me. So instead of me looking at this like I'm with this great company, I'm looking at it like now, well, I can do this. Like I'm meeting everybody who y'all bought their laboratory. So, that was a big break for me, was the exposure to see it was nothing special about the people who took the path before me. What they did is what they did, but I saw it was nothing special in my industry that they had a doctorate degree or, knew some secret I didn't know. They were regular people. So that was a big break for me.
What are some of your long and short-term goals?
Well, right now I'm selling my laboratory in 5 years, so that's a short-term goal for sure. Long-term goal, not Eric Thomas. What's the man's name? I can't believe it's slipping me right now. But he did the commencement speech, and at the end of commencement speech, he said, "I'm gonna challenge the other alumni," and he paid off $46 million worth of students. All the students that was graduating, he paid all their student fees right there. So that's a long-term goal of mine, to have some just astronomical amount of money that I can give away to help somebody, like a group of people.
Are there any?
Robert Smith, I'm sorry. Robert Smith is his name, Robert Smith.
Are there any regulatory hurdles affecting your business?
I mean, you have OSHA, but it hasn't. We are OSHA compliant. So outside of that, in our industry, no, there's not. All the products we use are FDA approved, so it's kind of already set for you to fall in line.
What are the biggest risk factors to your industry?
I mean, maybe technology, right? Technology can be good. It makes it faster. It's not necessarily cheaper because it costs lots about a machine to make the thing. It's more efficient, but the product's not as good. So you could invest in a high-dollar technology, and then the doctor tries it out and it's not good, and then they want to go back to the old way. So I would guess that's a risk. The only other risk I don't know. You can control the risk. What type of customer service do you offer? How's your support? How is your relationships? We can have mistakes, we can have errors, and we can get over them if our relationships are strong. So I don't really know of any risk, right now.
Have you ever been close to bankruptcy?
No, fortunately.
How do you find customers, and how do you advertise?
Well, when I started to come out, I spent days Googling dentists in zip code 73116, and I made a list, and I go door to door for months and months and months. And then I met a man, Felton Morris, one of the best marketing and branding guys. He works for me right now. That my success in the company would not be possible without him. And so when we think of marketing now, it's on a much larger scale because of the skills he believes. I have the giant ideas. He knows how to make them come to life. So we use Postcard Mania for marketing, but I need to look at you and talk to you. So I'm a door-to-door guy. I got to go to 5 states in 5 days to go meet some new clients. And then when I get back, I got 180 stops to do door-to-door for potential new clients. So that's the way that I look at marketing, still conventions and door-to-door, cold calling.
How do you manage relationships with both your employees and your partners?
With the employees, I think that you gotta be fair with them, first of all. I could pay my employees $15 an hour and use them as much as I can to get the most out of them. But I'm very fair with them. I also put in incentives that are bonus structures to show them, hey, I'll pay you this much. If you make a mistake, we decrease from the bonus. So now we got accountability in there. And the main thing I think is just being fair, treating them like people, giving them days off, whatever, just let's be open and honest with each other. And at the end of the day, we all here to achieve the goal. Once the goal is achieved, if y'all sitting around talking or hanging out, I'm not gonna say clock out. You worked hard for me. So we got a slow day, chill, kick it. When the work's done, the work's done. When it's time to work, they work. And I just think we have that understanding. I don't have any partners as far as ownership goes, but I got Felton and Lori, and I incentivize them with money too. Money's an incentive. We work together as one goal to move the boat. And my track history shows the more the boat moves, it obtains more, and I distribute more. It's a simple thing. We get more clients, we make more money, I pay you more money. do good, don't mess up, get more clients, make more money.
Is your business involved in the community in any way?
Yeah, I mean, we're not involved in like, look at us, these things we do, you know, and where we're getting the recognition on paper. But I mean, I give a lot of money away to a lot of different foundations, tens of thousands of dollars, and not for no tax purpose, you know. So to the degree, I would say on like a ground level involvement of community help, but not something that's like publicized, no.
Do you have a self-care plan in place to deal with the stress of running a business?
No. Me personally, I believe in God. I think God just made me in a certain way where I can multitask. It is stressful, but stressful to me is too close to complaining, and I'm only thankful for the opportunity. So if I want to allow myself to get stressed, then I can look at somebody whose scenario is way worse than me, and immediately that stress turns to thanks. So I don't feel like, and everybody may say I don't need counseling, but I don't feel like I need any help dealing with the stress. I don't see the stress. It's work, yes, but it's an opportunity to hopefully make enough money to change people's lives, and I'm only thankful for that.
If money was not a factor at all, meaning that you didn't have to work to be able to afford, you know, the regular things in life, what would you do with your time in absence of work?
What I think I would do is find people that know how to do stuff. Like my mother was a great educator, highest test scores 5 years. She could have been a lawyer. She became a teacher and was phenomenal at teaching and getting kids who didn't know how to do something to do something. Some of the worst kids, the baddest kids, she would teach them how to pass the test, and they listened to her. So my point is, I would just go in communities that were in need, get a building, get people that know how to do that. You need to sign up for college. I got the best college person to show you how to sign up. And I would just go around city to city, putting these buildings together, the resource hub. And all we would do is collect resources to expose the community.
And lastly, how can people find more information about your business?
Wish Felton was here, because that's when I detour to him. I mean, our website is www.solutionsdl.com. You can Google Solutions Dental Lab. We got 53 written Google reviews from doctors. That's all 5-star. I'm very proud of that, because they talk about the relationship that they built with us. They may say, yes, the product's good, you know, the fees are fair, but they're thankful for the communication. They're thankful for the relationship. So if you wanted to learn anything about my company or who we are, I would encourage you to read the reviews that doctors have written about working with our company, because that's something that was done with intention. So, yeah.
Well, from all of us at Turtlesmith.com, we thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, too.